This painting tip is going to be specifically to edge highlighting. Firstly, you want a brush. Yes, but you want a sharp brush. Don't want a super thick brush. You don't need like a size 2, you can use a much smaller one if you want to. It's the matter of figuring out consistency of your paint. Taking direct paint from a pot will work, no doubt about it, but you don't have quite as much control over it. If you thin it down and you get the right consistency, the paint can flow off your brush more easily, which means you don't have to work quite as hard in your application. And then to try and use the flat side of the brush, so not the tip. Sometimes you have to use the tip, and that does take some practice, but use the edge of it. And then with a very light hand, in a very stable position, as much stable as you can get, then you gently glide your brush over an edge. And the more gentle you are, the more finer you can get that edge highlight. I will be painting this Necron model. It's one of the heroes characters from the Necron Codex. I think it's a super cool model. I'm looking to try and do an OSL with it, where it's going to be carrying like a red orb and glowing kind of neon aqua blue green on his blades. So yeah, off to work. The first thing we need to do here is to thin your paints. I utilize a wet palette. Not everyone does, but for this it's helpful. You can add a tiny bit of water. Some people will use a little bit of acrylic thinner or a retarder of some kind, or a sort of flow improver, which can help. Whichever way works for you. You want to get it to quite a thin consistency. Okay, you see that? This is too much paint on my brush before I can do an edge highlight. Well, if I was to paint like that, it would leave a huge blob on it. So I need to just take my brush, twist it, and remove most of it. Now this might also be too much, but I think we can make it work. And I'm going to start right here. Hopefully it's an easy place to see. And I'm going to be very gentle. I'm trying to use the side of my brush. Now currently I think there's a bit too much paint. So I'm going to take the side of my brush near the tip and gently run along it. And the first thing I'm trying to do is really just define everything. Everything that I think is an angle or an edge, I'm just going to work on. And then all of a sudden, now it starts to show itself. All the parts are becoming individual. Now I have to use the tip, either or I can find a different angle. Just being very gentle. And just slowly and control, as much control as I can muster. So it's worthwhile getting your arms in a position on the table so you can keep as steady as you possibly can. So you can see from my original one, it's a bit thick. You can see how it's a bit wavy, whereas the lines later on become much more controlled. That's because there was just too much paint on my brush at this time, where I've just got the right level of it. So that's kind of what you need to do. And that is a really important thing to practice, to learn to recognize how much paint exists on your paintbrush. So again, we're going to come on this side. I'm trying to get a really steady hand position, like so. I'm going to paint, some of it's a strange angle, some of it. Even if you weren't trying to fill in things and you were just edge highlighting stuff, it would create character and pop on the thing that you are painting. It's a really worthwhile thing practicing, even if you're not good at it. Actually, if you're not good at it, definitely keep practicing. And if you're good at it, just keep practicing or keep doing the same thing you're doing, and hopefully you continuously get better and better. So I'll leave you with that. Good luck in your painting journey.